That's it, everybody. Let's get down to business. There are Huns to defeat and another season or two to sim. My St. Louis Sound against Chat's Cincinnati Lions. The 2029-2030 season. And who knows? Who knows? Maybe this could be the last year. It probably won't be from my team because my team is not good enough to take that next step forward, unfortunately. But for Chat's team, we saw Darius Garland was insane for you guys. Your big three might be good enough to kind of push things over the line and win yourselves a second era, consecutive eras at that. That said, your trade block was set up like this because Garland has not given you an answer as to whether or not he will resign this year, and Jabari Smith apparently plans on leaving after next season unless things change. So it is a situation where we're both kind of looking to see what's out there, who we can get, and how it all plays out. I need to put Fox and Simons back on the list, though. Fox's values dropped for me, so you have to keep me awake long enough till the F1 race starts. I'll try. Joys of them racing in Japan. Starts like 6 a.m. or some shit, if not earlier. Remember the team I told you about who lost 83-0? Well, they visited us today, and they lost 88-7. Well, I mean, hey, at least they put up points. Okay, hold on. That took me a second. Starts in an hour and a half. Oh, okay, fair enough. 1 a.m. Yeah, 1 a.m. makes more sense. I was thinking of the qualifying that was yesterday, and even that was around like 3 a.m. or something like that. It's weird, man. For you guys, Albert Dunleavy. Your current starting forward, if I'm not mistaken, the C+ potential for 21-year-old center Zach Sutton, who's a B in a first-round pick. If you were to get rid of Dunleavy, that would open up space for Henrik Johansson, who you just took in the last draft, to be the starting forward. That's not too bad. It would give you another center that you don't really need at the moment, but you get a more valuable asset in Sutton and a first-round pick and open up space at forward. Any disagreements about taking the deal? I think it's a pretty decent one. Again, Dunleavy's a solid player, but he's never going to be a great player. So, good three-point shooter, though. Going once, going twice. Sold. Albert Dunleavy on his way to Milwaukee. Jabari Smith hurt again for you guys already. That sucks. Let's see, a 9-man bench, I believe, makes the most sense. Yeah, Jordan Goodwin's not yours. Yeah. 9-man bench for now. Yeah, Henrik Johansson will be a starter. And then we can add Sutton. See if you guys can flip it. We march, we move. We march and we move. Yeah, I gotta be honest, F1 this year, like I said, it's been so tough. Like, I get it, like, hey, Singapore, finally a different team, a different driver won something, but holy hell. Like I said, I'm fully aware of the history of F1, and it's always a dominant team, a dominant driver, but nobody had ever won 10 races in a row. Hasn't always been that dominant, you know? So, we take a look. Anthony Simons and Patrick Lyons for a first-round pick, and Tyler Hero, the hero. Honestly, that's not too bad, because then it's basically Lyons for that first-round pick. He's a B- at 23 and a 76, but I have Jeffrey Lyles ahead of him, and then Tyrone Sutton as a prospect. I'm going to take that. I'm going to move on from Anthony Simons. He's getting worse. We'll bring on Tyler, flip him. That is a done deal from Detroit. We'll look to move on from the hero if we can. So Sutton gets the call up from the Memphis Hustle. My minor league team, the Memphis Hustle. either Justin Webb or Enqvist. This is a B. Webb is a B. Let's go with Webb. Nope, can't put Webb down in the G League. Can't put Enqvist down in the G League. I don't know why, but I can't. Good to know. Good to know. Not too worried about Webb getting playing time. Let's roll with an 8-man bench. Works for me. Sutton's actually going to be playing center right now. Go figure. Probably because of the injuries, I couldn't send someone down. 2017 of 18 races in the season. Pretty down. That's fair. But again, it's the idea F1-wise that, and who knows, maybe I just fell for the trickery, but it's that whole idea of this is going to be the most competitive era ever. And it's not. You guys do get an offer for Johansson, the 20-year-old big man named Bryce Mitchell, who's not that good in the first-round pick. That is not worth it for you guys at all. So, did you see at the Reds blew a 9-0 lead to the Pirates? I did not. That's hilarious. Pirates are close to being out of playoff contention, too, last I looked. Oh, good. De'Aaron Fox broke a couple ribs. Love to see it. Love to see it. Everyone's getting hurt. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. So, that's fun. That's fun. Wow, I'm 5-16 on the season. Obviously, you don't want Dunleavy back. You just traded him. So, again, you guys are not going to want Dunleavy back for Johansson. My girlfriend and I just broke up. AJ, where do you want me to go with that? Where, like, I'm sorry to hear. Where do you want me to go from here, though, with that information? I don't. I just needed to say it. Okay. This is nowhere I can go with said information. Let's see. Sean Cole and Tyron Sparks for Bryant Reed. Suffer with me. No. Getting married in like 40 days, man. What do you mean suffer with you? Oh, goodness. Bryant Reed, 25 and a B+, and JT McNeil, 23 and an A-. I'm a Dodgers fan. Oh, you mean the team that won the World Series 3 years ago? Sparks is a C+. Reed would directly replace him. And then McNeil is a shooting guard and would directly replace Sean Cole. Am I willing to move Cole, who won Rookie of the Year, for Bryant Reed? I mean, it is technically an upgrade across the board. I lose 6 points there, but it's about the same. Gain 6 points there. Yeah, gain 6 points, lose 6 points. Reed's 25, McNeil's 23. Cole is 22, Sparks is 22. I'm going to say no to that. It was a fair offer, but I'm going to say no to that. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Cole Anthony and Keldon Johnson for Jeremy Sochan. Anthony's 29 at this point. Johnson's 30. That's going to be a big no. A big no from me, even though my team sucks. Absolutely suck. Oh, don't offer me a deal for Bowl. Do you know how hard that is to decline? Still going to have to, though. Yeah, boy, my team has really hit a low note the past 2 seasons. We'll have to see where you guys are as we head to the 2030s. The sweet, beautiful 2030s. As you guys do get an offer for big man Dan Gafford, and it's my former forward, Christian Brown. It would give you a second option. Chilson, 5 months on the primer. Chilson, how are you tonight? Tight spot as well. What's going on? This would give you a backup forward. It might technically make him the starter over Johansson, and would clear out some of that depth at center Again, right now you have 5 centers on the team. I would recommend taking that, even if it puts Johansson as the second option. He still has plenty of time to get better. You need to clear out some of that center depth. Any disagreement? Going once. Going twice. Sold. Garland for Christian Brown. As we take a look. Joe Weiss, no, Joe Weiskamp isn't here. Honestly, you guys can run 8 right now to the injury. Garland, Wheeler, Brown, Smith Jr., Duran. Johansson's still getting about 24 minutes a night. That's not too bad. You guys are 21-9. Certainly closer to winning this than I am. So, certainly closer. Tyler Hero and Ryan Rollins for Lauri Markkanen and David Roddy. You love me a Finn, but not for that deal. Not for that deal. 2030. Just kind of blew my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, we're way in the future of 2030. I'll decline that for you. And I'm like, oh, it's really not that far away. It's not that far away. Taps, most likely, yes. Most likely we are going to do a WNBA run. Most likely. It's been a few years in the making, and I think now's the right time. Oh, wait, Mozone, thank you. Thank you. How good's Richie Newman? Methinks you should take that deal. I know it moves out the depth from Christian Brown. 22, 76, and a B+ Richie Newman. And a second-round pick. He'd be your second best guard on the team behind Dexter Wheeler. That's kind of a no-brainer, don't you think? That's a bit of a no-brainer there. Chat's team wheeling and dealing this year. Christian Brown on his way to the Lakers. The wheeling and the dealing continues. 9-man bench. Garland, Wheeler, Johansson, Smith, Duran, with Newman, Shepard, McBride, and Sutton. Don't you think? It's chat. There's no thinking here. I feel like you guys snapped out of your funk. You know? You finally stopped bickering with one another long enough to actually accomplish something. So you immediately get an offer for Newman for Stelio Demantopoulos, who is the same rating and potential, but 2 years older. But you could also get Jericho Sims, another center, which isn't worth it at all. There's really no reason to bring in Demantopoulos aside from his name being Stelio. But you go to the Vegas Aces game tomorrow for as low as $5. I mean, shit, it'd be a fun time. I mean, it is smart though. Smart of any league to just be like, hey, don't worry about ticket costs. Just get people in the fucking building. You know. Just lately, the stupid decisions have been working in our favor. There's no thinking. We just... Well, it is working. You're falling up the stairs instead of falling down them. So it's still technically forward progress. Technically. I mean, tight spot, yeah, but I mean, the WNBA is still growing. So obviously, there will be no trade of Jalen Duran. I am aware of that. Failing successfully. That's the way. Oh, chat gonna be heading back to the playoffs. I guess we'll just keep the same deal of simulate like the first 2 rounds and then save the serious contention for the serious drama for the conference finals and potentially beyond. Of course, chat, #1 seed last year in the Eastern Conference, lost in the first round in 5 games, if I am not mistaken. And the Nashville Stars that you guys played on January 16th, they were an expansion team this year. Or added in. Instead of shooting on our own basket, we decided to move the correct. There you go. Yeah. Okay, this is simming. It's just taking forever, I promise. I don't know why it's taking forever, but it is taking forever. TikTok. TikTok. The Aaron Fox for Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton's got more time on his contract. He's a couple years younger. De'Aaron Fox, you've been here for 6 seasons. We are going to move you in a second-round pick this year to Cleveland for Tyrese Halliburton. That is the time to accept that trade. Welcome in Mr. Halliburton, who will also immediately go to the trade block just so I can keep options open. But now, instead of Fox and Simons, it's Halliburton and Hero. Potential still important when they're like 30 years old. If I'm not mistaken, it still affects like how quickly they'll regress. Similar to NHL. I am not mistaken. All right, we move on. 15 and 34. Not a hope in hell that I'm making the playoffs this year. So, forward to another lottery pick or two. You guys get an offer, Wheeler for 2 big men. Not worth it at all. Not worth it at all. Sergeant. What happens in F1? Throw people into the deep end. How many picks do you have? That's a good question. 2, 3, 4 first-round picks this year. Raptors, Pelicans, Lakers, and my own. So, not worried about the all-star captains, of course. So yeah, not quite as crazy or 5 or 6, but give it time. Still a little bit of time before the deadline. You never know. You never know. Never mind, it's actually February 7th. We don't have as much time as I thought we did. Power ranking dead last in the league for my St. Louis Sound. You hate to see it. You hate to see it, the job finish. He is not retired yet. We haven't made it that far. So, trade deadline is come and gone. Tyler Hero and Jeremy Sochan both plan on leaving at the end of next season. For you guys, Jabari Smith still plans on leaving at the end of next season. Jalen Duren is willing to re-sign right now. His deal's not up until after next year, but would you guys prefer me to just re-sign Jalen right now to get it over with? He's willing to take a pay cut. It's $28 million. He's making $31 currently. But it'll be about $28 million. Any disagreement? I can drop the price a little bit. Maybe even down to about 27. Probably 27. Chat's saying do it now. All right. Well, there you go. Let's see. There you go. Jalen Duren. 5 years. You'll be here for a long, long time. I imagine you'll be winning a championship with them, to be honest. So, I would imagine you guys are a hell of a lot closer than I am. I'm kind of surprised how much better your team's performing with, really because of Garland. But here we are. Could very well be that second error in a row. Could be, could be. But we'll get the season sim over with and see what happens from there. We'll see. We will see. Extension deadline. We can move right past. Like I said, we'll see if Chat's Lions give the team anyone hope and cause to get excited for the season. Sorry, we talked about the Winnipeg Jets jersey earlier. I understand what they're what the paying tribute to, but the jerseys are absolutely hideous. They are absolutely hideous. So, as I said, I respect old school throwbacks of any kind. Even like Minnesota. You know, the Minnesota Timberwolves today announced they were like throwing back to their 90s look, and people are like, oh my god, why? And I get that, because when the Timberwolves wore those particular jerseys, they were trash. For a long time, they were bad while wearing these jerseys. That said, as we finish up the season sim, these jerseys, though, are fucking beautiful. I don't know what it is, but I love the color scheme. I love how 90s they are with the, you know, the colors that really pop. I like these. I like these a lot. So, you know, some teams do throwback jerseys well, others do not. So, yeah, some people are like, oh, why would you bring those back? They sucked in that era. And it's like, well, at least they look good. If you're going to be a bad team, at least look good. That's still really weird. Luka Doncic, MVP for the Indiana Pacers. All right. Your rookie of the year, the Chicago Bulls, Freddie Stokes. Sixth man of the year, Paris Cheeks of the newly minted Nashville Stars. Defensive player of the year, once again, Victor Wembanyama. Most improved player, Paris Cheeks of the Nashville Stars. Clutch player of the year, boss. Oh, sorry, that's an oxymoron right there. Clutch player of the year, Jaylen Brown. Coach of the year, Steve. Of all the fucking pictures, fucking Steve Mad Dog Clifford over here. Look at this. That's an emote right there. That's an emote right there.
MC.
Oh, God. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I love it. I love it so much. Holy hell. God damn, that's amazing. Executive of the year, Cleveland's Brandon Harrison. First team All-NBA, Luka, Wemby, LaMelo, Josh Giddey, Darius Garland of your Cincinnati Lions. The all-defensive team is Amen Thompson, now in Milwaukee. LaMelo, Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson, and Victor Wembanyama. And the all-rookie team, Dion Weber, Chat's new forward, Henrik Johansson, Otis Levens Jr., Elton Mitchell, and Freddie Stokes. In the playoffs, my team did not make it. Chat will be the 5th seed, taking on the Indiana Pacers and MVP Luka Doncic. You see now why we're probably going to go with that new rule of just simulate the first 2 rounds and then get excited if someone makes the conference final. Given that we have both made the conference finals at least once in this series. I made it twice. But yeah, Darius Garland's been amazing for you guys. The big question is, and we're about to check, is he willing to come back? Or is this your only shot to win something with him on the team? And we are about to find out. No, we are not, because we're past the extension deadline. And at the extension deadline, he still, or a little bit before then, it's trade deadline, he didn't have an answer. So Garland's probably gone at the end of this run. But you have an opportunity now. Garland, Wheeler, Johansson, Smith, and Duren. Newman and Shepard coming off of the bench. One more opportunity for Darius Garland to make himself a legend in Cincinnati. Really quickly, though, I do want to check to see how my boys did this year. Great. Good all-around scoring, but we don't have that one guy to really lead the way. Rough times for St. Louis. Worth checking. Where did St. Louis finish? Second last in the NBA at 23-59. Only 1 win ahead of Detroit. The expansion Stars finished 28th. You know how bad you gotta be worse than an expansion team? Jesus. Anyway, we will go through the play-in round. Portland and LA make it through. Milwaukee and Philadelphia on the eastern side. Let's take a look at what Chat's up against. The Indiana Pacers. We will be quick simming it, as I mentioned. It is Luka Doncic at point guard. Shooting guard, Keontae George. At forward, Monty Kersey and Isaac Okoro. Power forward, Bruce Craig. 2 first names. And Jordan Walsh. And it's center Mitch Robinson. You could win it, but Luka Doncic is the best player on the floor. Let's see what happens. Round 1 for chat. Can they make it to the second round? Second year in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Cincinnati, if no, it's more than that. Cincinnati falls in the first round in 7 games to the Pacers. And this is why we're trying not to hype up first rounds anymore. We've been through every goddamn era. The first rounds don't mean too much anymore. Game 1 was a 119-108 win for you guys. Game 2, you lost by 6. Game 3, a 12-point loss. Game 4 was a pretty big win, 134-118. Game 5, a big loss, 114-98. Game 6, blowout win, 113-92. And then Game 7, losing by 8. Cincinnati Lions have fallen, as we'll end up seeing who wins the championship this year. Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken, are the defending champions. They are off to the Eastern Conference Final to take on Toronto, while Utah will play OKC. Utah finally turning it around. And Donovan Mitchell leads the Jazz to the NBA Final to take on Toronto and Jason Tatum. Jazz and Raptors in the 2030 NBA Final. The Utah Jazz, featuring the worst logo to ever win an NBA title. But they are indeed champions. Led by Bam Adebayo. The Utah Jazz, in their god-awful jerseys, have won the NBA title. Take a full look at that roster. Without that guy, Ricky Castro, but yeah, Bam, Mitchell. Yeah, not a bad team. Not a bad team. The Utah Jazz get it done. Pushes us right to another off season. Let's see how it goes. Tobias Harris is gone. Aaron Gordon, Andre Drummond, Yusef Nurkic, among numerous other players. Nerlens Noel is gone. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, very disappointing season for both of us yet again. Yet again. Not Yuta Watanabe. Ugh. What are we going to do without Yuta? No Hall of Fame inductees, no jersey retirements out of all of that. League meetings, everything having been rejected, which is okay. No expansion team this year. Brings us right to the draft lottery, where my sound have the 2nd and 5th best odds to win this lottery. Thanks to Nollins and our own pick, which of course is in that top 3 bracket. Oh, the St. Louis Sound. Again, trying to get lucky via the lottery. And it never goes too well, does it? Never, ever. Never goes too well. But we'll see what happens. Is there a way for me to go through this more quickly? I'm trying to go through it as quickly as I possibly can. There we go. Speed it up a little bit. I don't want to skip to the end. I need some drama once we get down to my picks, but can only go so fast. Spamming the A button here. So infrequently movement with these low percentages. So, and of course we added an expansion team, so it takes even longer. What are you gonna do? The Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls. That fucking Abdul the Butcher forehead. And Hawks. Did the Spurs move up? Well, that's good. Spurs moved up from 11. GG's. Nashville holds at 6. Alright, from here we'll play it out. Yeah, they did move up because I was supposed to be at 5. Yeah, Well, that New Orleans pick for me moved thanks to San Antonio. Thank you very much. Detroit at 5. Top 4 here. Lethal, it was an amazing goal. Oh, God. Come on. Come on. Spurs only moved up to 4. I have pick number 6 and a top 3 pick, but where, oh, where will that pick land? Back in the top 3. In the top 2. You know what's going to be the second overall pick. All right, the St. Louis Sound will pick second. Miami will pick first. We already know it. We already know it. I'm mentally prepared for it. Show me my logo. The St. Louis Sound have the first overall pick in the 2030 draft. 7th lottery selection since 2023, the most in that time. The Sound have the number 1 pick, as well as number 6, 22, and 27, while the chat will have a selection at 28. And I could have sworn you had another pick. Didn't you have another first? Am I blind? Pick number 28. Was it a lottery pick that had protect? It didn't have any protections. Am I fucking blind? 7. No, you're not the Stars. You're the Lions. It must have been lottery protected, I guess. Interesting. Yeah, the Stars are another expansion team, Lethal, that was just added in. I could have sworn you guys had 2 first-rounders this year. I could have sworn. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a liar. I'm getting old and misremembering. The number 1 overall pick in the 2030 draft belongs to the St. Louis Sound. And will it be him? Will it be him? Gabe Watson. Are you him? Bad. Dario Jovanic. Damn Baylor. I mean, I'm not complaining necessarily, but it doesn't look like there's like that guy to take. There's not the future Hall of Famer at first overall to select here, which is a bit of a bummer. There is that totally boom or bust point guard Bernie Benjamin. But yeah, there's not that guarantee. Does have quite a few guys at A potential here. Think I have my guy though. Bernie Benjamin will be interesting. But I have my guy. The Sporting News has him at number 1, and he will be number 1. Gabe Watson. Welcome to St. Louis. Not going that far away from Georgia. So there we go. Gabe Watson. Welcome in. Miami takes center Dan Baylor. Minnesota takes Dirk Hasselhoff. A second Dirk Hasselhoff, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's the second one. At 4, the Spurs take Dario Jovanic. And at 5, the Pistons take power forward Eric King. Will I be trading the pick? I do get offers. 3 offers. The 9th overall pick. And a dude named Josh Purdue. He is 24 years old, though. A first overall pick in 2031 and the guy by the name of Carson Calloway. It's a B-, and I just drafted a power forward. And then the guy who was literally just selected, Dario Jovanic, is a C+. I'm going to make this pick. You know, for me, there was shout out to Simon. But what does Simon say? What does Simon say? So this Max Jenkins started all NBA, but he's another power forward. But he is the best player left. Also, shout out to Andre Chase. Started all NBA, Donald Hodges. So it's either Donald Hodges, Max Jenkins, or Bernie Benjamin, who at his best could be Magic fucking Johnson, even though he's nowhere near as tall. At his worst, he'd be an Alvin Williams. Rhubarb, basically just different big boards. So it's to say, like, this outlet has this guy at 3. Well, this outlet says he should have been at 5. That type of thing. Right. There's a center, there's a power forward, and there's a point guard. Do I trust in Bernie Benjamin? I've had mixed success with players like this. The last guy I took did end up being that good. 6th overall pick's a good time to take the risk. There was the power forward. Where is he? Max Jenkins. Max Jenkins is projected to be an early 2nd round pick. I should be able to get him later on. And then there's the center. Albert Higgins. No, it wasn't Albert Higgins. It's Donald Hodges. Hodges is projected to be 28th. When the hell are my next picks? 22 and 27. When the hell is Chat's next pick? 28. I feel like I could get everybody. I have to try to get everybody. So 6th overall pick, taking the risk. We're going for Bernie Benjamin. Come on down, Bernie. Please be the next Magic Johnson. Please, please, please. We'll skip ahead to my next pick. Are the two guys. Max Jenkins is still there. Is the center. The center's gone. Fuck. Who ended up at the center? It was Higgins, wasn't it? I don't remember if it was Higgins or Elliott. Powers. Was it Hodges? Regardless, the center. The center's gone, but the power forward's still there, so it worked out pretty well for me. Yeah, that center's out. All right, well, no doubt then. Go to the power forward. Max Jenkins. Come on down. 2 power forwards in this draft. This guy's saying he should have been off the board 10 picks ago. I got one more pick before Chat gets there first. I have to make it, too, because there wasn't a trade offer. Joe Hilliard is a pretty much guaranteed starter. A guaranteed starter at the end of the first round is not the worst thing to do. And anybody over 50%, you get the player comparisons. Calbert Morrison could be All-NBA at his best. As could Karan Roberts. Aaron Griffith. Now the time to take a risk on somebody else. There are plenty of these guys who are listed as like All-NBA comparisons. But only that one guy. Joe Hilliard at starter. Drafting the whole roster. That's been my strategy the whole time. Honestly, Griffith, Karan Roberts might not be the worst option. Oh, it's Karan Roberts or it's Joe Hilliard. I don't need the short thing. I need someone that's good. Karan Roberts, come on down. Chat finally gets a pick, and you have to make it as well. You do know that Joe Hilliard's pretty decent, given that I was tempted to take him. But in terms of team needs for you guys, a point guard wouldn't be the worst because Darius Garland, his deal is up. You still have Wheeler at shooting guard. Newman's an RFA. You got Johansson at forward. Power forward, you still got Jabari Smith for the year. And at center, you're more than fine. So biggest position of need is point guard. Then you could argue small forward. Again, Hilliard fits that deal of a small forward. Just looking at all these dudes that have at least a C grade. Calvert Morrison is a shooting guard. Had that All-NBA comp. Bench to All-NBA, that is. Let's actually look at the dudes that have comparisons. I think Hilliard's potential was a B or a B minus. It's not going to show it from the screen. And there's listed potential there is an A minus. Whether or not you trust that, it's up to you. But yeah, if you don't take the starter in Hilliard, it's one of the guys that have all NBA as the ceiling. And you just hope to get lucky. But you can get someone who's pretty much a good fit. You know he's going to be major league caliber in Hilliard. And that seems to be the name that's being thrown out there quite a bit. Any disagreement in regards to Joe Hilliard? It said A minus. Now it's showing a B minus. So who knows? You don't have him 100% scouted, but looks like Joe Hilliard's the guy. I'll go ahead and do that. So I don't think that's a bad pick for you guys. As the Lions are up again in the second round, I will just take the best player available as to not waste time. Unfortunately, best player available is this dude here, Ed Black, and he's not even that good, so yeah, honestly, I'll probably look at a point guard for you guys since you took it forward. Gene Oliver can shoot threes. This guy can score, Gene Oliver. Probably the best guy you can find right now because he's just a shot in the dark. So keep it simple. Take the guy even if he is a shot in the dark. They said he should have been taken in the first round. So that is it for the draft. Quick and easy for chat. Took Gabe Watson first overall. We'll see how the other picks have worked out here in a second as we get to rookie signings. So for chat, Joe Hilliard is an A. That is not the first time you've had a great player fall to you in that position. At forward, 22 years old, 76 overall, and an A potential, Joe Hilliard. And then Gene Oliver is only a C. You might as well sign him because he's practically at league min. And at least he'll be on the roster. But another great pick for chat with Joe Hilliard. All right. Start with Roberts at 27, the guy I took ahead of Hilliard to try and get a big-time hit. Not quite as good as your guy, but he's not bad. Max Jenkins. Still going to sign him, but that's a disappointing potential. Bernie Benjamin, Hall of Famer or bust? Somewhere in between. And the first overall pick, Gabe Watson. Good age, good overall. Not the best potential in the world, though. All four of them are decent, but not a single home run for me. That's the best way to put it. Picking up those options. You guys with Wesley Shepard, you might as well drop him based on the centers that you have. Yeah, you got Duran, you got Oliver, you got Sutton. You don't need Shepard anymore, so you might as well save that money. Victor Wembanyama might be heading to the open market.